So we have finally got, after all this time, an emotional death in Fairy Tail, and with a Fairy Tail member itself. But is this something that is going to stay in the story, or is it actually going to be run back? Let's get right into this chapter of Fairy Tail, because I know a lot of people want to talk about this, and it's definitely something that's kind of interesting, and even people are doubting it right now. So from what we got to see from last chapter, Irene was pretty goddamn pissed off, like, immediately with the whole thing that Mavis like, yeah guys, we've got hope, we can continue fighting on. And she's like, these motherfuckers, alright, like, I'm gonna use my staff, and I'm gonna use my enchantment, and I'm gonna enchant every soldier on the battlefield and turn them into berserkers, which they look like they belong in the Fate series, just coming in, smashing up. They can't feel pain. They're like undoubtedly way stronger than like a bunch of the other characters are, and it's just like, you know, they chance their abilities many times over, and it's just like, what are you gonna do, Mavis, you little bitch, and all that? What are you gonna do? Like, you think you're gonna save these fuckers? No. And it's just like, and like, even with that, is like Makarov's like, is this really the end? Like, is this talking about? And I was thinking, okay, what is like the solution that we've got here? Like, because I know a lot of people are like, come on, see what's gonna save us out here? And actually, it's Makarov that comes out in the end of this saying like, no, and all that, I'm gonna use fairy lore. And it's just like, you can't do that though. Like, you know, like, you don't know the whole thing about fairy lore and all that. It's like, the more enemies you face while using fairy lore, the shorter your lifespan will be. Like, if you use it against a massive army like this, your body isn't gonna survive. And it's just like, I don't care and all that, I'm well aware of that and all that. And it's just like, I have a plan though, like, if one of the situation and all that. And it's just like, I really love this from Marco, where it just goes, shut the hell up, Mavis, and all that. The kids are suffering right before my eyes. They're wounded, and to say that you can be mere soldiers and all that, but to me, they're my kids. They're my irreplaceable children on that battlefield. And it's just, it was a great moment where it was like Makarov sticking up for himself, and like, where he's like always kind of being like downgraded to like the first, like where like the first is this amazing tactician, and it's like, and then you got like Hades, who was like just a fucking genius all the time. It, like, honestly, I really did like this moment where it's just like, no, it's my time to prove myself and all that. If with the short lifespan of this old soldier and all that, create kids, like, you know, like for the future of these kids and all that, this is a like cheap price to pay. And he's like, and like, just when you got Urza going like, listen, I won't listen to anything and all that, let's go to the guild together. No. And it's just like, from here on, if it's painful, you gotta walk together with everyone. There will be a way. Believe in everyone, believe in your friends and all that, and thanks to all of you, my journey has been filled with happiness and all that. And just that moment where he just say, all of you play nice, like that, and he just does fairy lore on all of these motherfuckers. And even like you saw like over the Irene, she was shocked. She's like, what the hell? Even the fact that this could be seen from like Natsu, like with E.N.D, and also as well Grey fighting. But the question is that actually going to stop them from fighting? Because I don't think Grey, like if anything and all that, those two are going to stop. But just seeing this blinding light and like seeing this moment of him just just husked out and just like completely lifeless and all that, and it's saying those last few words and all that, his lofty soul and the voice of them, his noble life will forever engraved into the hearts of his family. Now, here's the thing, like, where people, like, you know, are, like, generally going where it's like, oh, is he actually dead, though? Is he genuinely dead, for this situation? Like, where it's like, we've had, like, I have to remind you, like, Hades was a fact that someone that lived way longer than, like, Makarov does, so, like, did he have, is there still, like, a little bit of his life back? I'd like to think that this time, this is something that could, like, a character that can actually die, like, because, like, from what we saw, like, he was really supposed to die, like, when he was going against Acnologia. I know a lot of us, like, felt that emotional moment. I think that was mainly kind of Hero going, alright, like, here you go and all that. So here's someone that's actually, you know, a memorable character, Fairy Tail, and an important one and all that, but here's someone that can actually go and, like, open a pathway for him. And I really love that this time and all that, if Hero does kill off this character, because this is an emotional chapter that you can have with this guy and all that. Like, I generally say if he had a little bit more of, like, screen time, or if this is, like, how he went down, like during, like, the whole, like, Tenrojima arc, I would absolutely love this stuff. And I still do really enjoy that bit where it's just his last words to all his kids, which is saying, play nice. And him just shutting the hell out of Mavis, because, like, oh, Mavis, I'm the smartest thing ever, I'm the big tactician. It's like, no, look at me, man, like, look at what I'm doing. This is, I opened the path for my children. I am the one that's, like, made it possible that they could advance, like, to go here. Like, I really enjoyed that moment, especially as, like, Makarov hasn't had, like, a time to shine, and when he does, it's, like, a real emotional, and, like, people say, like, Fairy Tail, like, doesn't have deaths and all that, and it's like, well, there are a couple of characters dying, and people say there isn't no real deaths in the main guild. If this is one that can finally happen, then, you know, it can finally like put a lot of that to rest, and I really did like, even without that, it's like just the noble kind of sacrifice that Makarov did at this chapter was just really great. Like both that and his kind of speech to Mavis, where it was like, these are not soldiers, these are my kids. Like any parent will go and do anything to protect their children from suffering anymore, and that where I was just like, I love that part of the chapter, and generally that was emotional. And like Hiro always does know how to get like the feelings and all that to like people, or especially when it's like a really sad moment. But that though, guys, and all that, generally an emotional chapter. Not too much to honestly talk about with the chapter. That was a kind of a quick chapter in a way where it's like, it was mainly focusing on them. We didn't get anything focusing on Natsu or Gray. We only saw that one panel of them, so I'm kind of wondering about it, and how the way that like Makarov was really talking to Urza, saying that like Urza's going to inherit like the guild again, where it's like, no, you're going to be here and take care of it like after everything's happened. So I'm wondering, you know, is that's what's going to happen like now that like if Makarov is, you know, supposedly dead and all that, is that this could give a good thing for Urza to actually inherit, like, you know, the Sultan saying like, you know, that's where we're going now. I am going to take over, and that would be a great moment for her, like especially Urza, to feel her revenge, to go against Irene. Is like, this will be my first thing as guild, like guild master, taking down you. Like, I think that would be a really emotional moment for her, and I'm kind of curious to see what everyone else is going to think about this, since we only know like a couple of characters that have seen this so far. So I'm wondering what's going to be going down with them. But so far, really did like this chapter of Fairy Tail. Really enjoyable, really emotional. I am curious though, guys, to see what you guys think in the comment section down below about this chapter, because it gets you right in the feels. Like if you didn't feel a little bit teary out of that, like, you know, Jesus, you're a cold-hearted monster. But I know a lot of people are going to be doubting the chapter, saying like, no, there's no deaths in Fairy Tail. But I mean, if at that point and all that, it's like, Christ and all that, like if he ain't dead at that point, like, my God, like, you know, that'll feel like some Mike Guy kind of shit, where it's like he split his last little spark of life, but then he's still there. So hopefully that isn't the case. But I generally, please, like, if that will leave such a great legacy there for like Makarov. I would really love if that's like the last moment that he does, and that's open the path to his kids. That would be so good, and I would love to see, you know, like that be his final moment, like in the anime. That'd be a great animated form, showing like flashbacks of his kids, like showing like raising them all, and it's just like, play nice to you kids, and that would destroy me. That would destroy me in the heart. But overall, I really did enjoy this fantastic chapter. Generally, just straight up going to give this one a 9. I think it was a really good chapter. Really, like, brought back the emotional feels of Makarov. However, I feel like if the fact that he does survive this, that is going to take a little bit down from the score. Like, because it would be like, come on, like, not after he does something noble like that, Hero. Like, you know, like, you want to do something like that, and emotional, and well, there you go. You can give them to him there now and there forever and all that. You can, if this is the like finding the moment where we can say a person in Fairy Tales dies, like, there you go. Person in Fairy Tail died. Like, a lot of people can be put to rest with that. Thank you very much for watching as always. Like, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys though next time.